Hello, my friend. We have a powerful and emotional full moon happening Friday, May 5th, 11:34 a.m. in US Mountain Time. And I want to break down 4 keys that you want to know to ride with and dance with the very powerful energy of this full moon eclipse that I'm going to take you through just a brief energy clearing and cleansing and release with the power of this full moon. So remembering, first of all, that full moons are a moment of release and harvest of the lunar cycle. In the beginning, every month, the sun and the moon are lined up. Sun represents our conscious awareness. Moon represents our unconscious, the depths. And those are in alignment at the new moon, which is why we set intentions here. When we come around to the full moon, it's like the release moment, the facing off of, okay, what has been created with these intentions? It's a moment of harvest. It's also a moment of releasing what doesn't serve. Now, when we've got an eclipse on top of a full moon, eclipses often represent beginnings and endings in a really powerful way. It's a new start in some way, especially of anything that needs to be cleared out of your field. And depending how this hits your natal chart, it may be greater or stronger, but there are often dramatic shifts, dramatic beginnings, endings, releases that happen with an eclipse. Very often information is revealed in eclipses. There's an illumination of something that's been hidden, and it may change things deeply. So holding all that, let's look at what that may look like for this particular full moon eclipse. And again, the 4 keys I want to give you to hold in mind, to work with and be with and dance with this energy as it moves through, as it clears, as it so beautifully releases what's not in alignment for you to move into your next level. So the moon, first thing to know is that we're working with the Scorpio Taurus polarity. The moon is in Scorpio, sun is in Taurus. Scorpio is the sign of deep healing, deep transformation, ruled by Pluto. When we're working with Scorpio energy, we're talking that down to the bone, complete regeneration at a deep cellular level. Taurus rules the physical body, finances, working more on the earthly plane. So we're working with this polarity here in this full moon eclipse, how the deep inner spaces meet the actual 3D aspects of our lives and what that looks like. And this is the polarity I want you to hold in mind as we recognize that whatever is no longer serving is going to be released. So that's the first thing to hold. Scorpio Taurus polarity, deep healing, deep regeneration is possible with this full moon eclipse. Second piece is that Mercury is retrograde right now. We're deep in an inward process of our intellect being turned inward, our mental patterns being revised, restructured. I've spoken a lot about this other places. I'll just briefly say now, I love Mercury retrogrades. They're not something to fear. It's a reversal of the usual forward-directed mental energy. And in this full moon eclipse, okay, it's more than 4 keys. I'm throwing a few things in. Retrograding Mercury is in a sextile with Saturn. So this is a stabilizing transit, even though it could potentially feel a little bit like delays or things not moving as fast as you want. Keep in mind that whatever is going on now in a revisioning and reorganizing and depth process is part of this whole Mercury retrograde. And when we lean into the benefits of Mercury retrograde, the benefits are really huge. It's a deep dive of rebooting, of reprocessing. And when this process is in harmony with Saturn, we're talking about the principle of diligence, planting the seeds and reaping the harvest. That's the message of Saturn, diligently showing up, continuing to do what you're here to do, and knowing that the rewards do come. It's a law of cycles. It's a law of the universe. So to tie all this together a bit, we're in the inward process mentally, in a deep dive. That inward process is working in harmony with Saturn, with this principle of diligently showing up, even when you're not yet seeing the results. And in a Mercury retrograde, it may feel like you can't necessarily see clearly what the results are yet, but someplace in your heart knows. Your heart knows that you can continue on, and your heart can feel what it looks like to continue the course, even when the mind may feel discombobulated, and even when things may feel shaken up as they may during this eclipse. So the message here, the invitation here, is to allow that knowing of your heart that you're on track, and to feel into that place for you of what's right, of what's true, even when things feel chaotic around it. Number 3, the sun is in a loose conjunction with the planet Uranus. So that means this full moon eclipse is opposing Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener. It shakes us up and shakes us awake to higher consciousness, often through the mechanism of the unexpected or reversals or out of the blue events. Now, this is a loose conjunction, but there may well be some unexpected, some shakeups. And when we pair that with the natural revealing that tends to happen with an eclipse, there may be surprises, and we're talking Scorpio, so the surprises may go deep and it may be intense. And my invitation here to you is to lean deeply into the powerful transformation that this lunation is bringing, even if it feels really shaken up, even if there's out of the blue surprises that may feel deep, that may feel like they catch you off guard, or it may simply be an intense energy that feels really, really strong. Even with all of that, can you lean into the transformation that is invited here? And the fourth piece I'm going to give you is that we have another sextile happening at the same time between Jupiter, the great expander, and Venus, our heart center. Jupiter, the bringer of all things good and bountiful, is in a productive working relationship with the heart center. I'm going to invite you to lean into that and allow that to be your center. And the heart, of course, there's never a bad time to drop into the heart center, but I'm going to invite that this full moon eclipse is a really, really, really good time to drop into the heart, to drop into the expansive goodness of the heart in the midst of whatever chaos, any seeming shakeups, reversals, unexpectedness, or intensity of the regeneration process that you might feel yourself in. And as we close here, I'm going to just lead you through a very brief energy clearing process, inviting you first to, if it feels good, connect a hand or two to the chest. You can also connect one hand to the chest, one to the belly. Feel your seat on the seat and allow the breath to drop in. And just feel for a moment the story of this full moon could be allowing yourself to pause and feel and know what you know to be true in the heart center, leaning into that energy as a ballast, as a stabilizing force, so you can open to the unexpected, to the miracles, allowing your heart to expand as a result. Knowing that no matter what happens, and when Uranus is involved, it really is no matter what, because we don't know how it's going to look. No matter what happens, I'll invite you to lean into this place and feel it now, and allow that deeper wisdom to drop in. And calling in right now your deepest level of knowing, of connection, of your truth, so far beyond this world, so far beyond anything you might feel in this moment. And even if it feels intense, I'm going to invite you now to drop into that heart space, to drop into that knowing. You know who you are. Allow your heart to feel that. And breathing deeply in, allowing this intention, allowing the energy of this full moon eclipse to purify, to release, to cleanse, to clear every cell, to release at deep, deep levels what no longer serves, opening you to your highest expansion, to the more expansion than you could have seen possible in this moment, to the more abundance than you could have seen, than your mind could have known. Abundance in all the ways. And I'll invite you to breathe this in, to affirm this for yourself, to invite that knowing, and to land an anchor in that heart space, knowing you are seen, you are held, you are loved. Sending all my love your way. Happy full moon eclipse, and wishing you bright blessings on your transformational journey. Take great care. Make sure and like and subscribe if this has been helpful, and I'll see you again soon.